justice on this busy night of news. My next guest has been relentless in his fight for the truth in both Clinton and Russia investigation. We're delighted to have Congressman Jim Jordan in studio tonight. All right. Good evening, Congressman.
Good evening.
All right. Now, you heard Devin Nunes and you also heard Hogan Gidley. One of the things that concerns me is that, and I try to ask all my guests, especially guests like you, my viewers want to know if ever there's going to be justice. My viewers want to know what they can expect, or are we all just spinning our wheels here?
Well, Andy McCabe's about to find out, right? I mean, Andrew McCabe, what he did, 4 different times lied, 3 of those times under oath, and now a criminal referral for Andy McCabe. And if you read that, what Horowitz released, this is the most telling. I mean, Hogan used the word scheme. Talk about a scheme. Andy McCabe sends out a person to leak to the Wall Street Journal, trying to, for his personal interest, not the public interest, as the report says. The next day, when the story is out there, he calls up 2 people not associated with the leak and yells at them and says, "Don't let these leaks happen," trying to cover his tracks. So that is as bad as it gets.
And this is the
number 2 guy.
Horrible. It is just horrible. It's scary. Let's talk about that first memo that Jim Comey did. The one he said he had to leak so that he could get justice and get a special counsel.
After the January 6th meeting.
Yes. Right. I said in my open, look, you didn't have to leak it. It didn't have to be investigated. You already sent it to the FBI.
Well, right at the top of the memo, it's to Andy McCabe, Jim Baker, and Jim Rubicki. And what's interesting about those 3 individuals, Andy McCabe's been fired and now faces a criminal referral.
Right.
Jim Baker, former chief counsel at the FBI, has been demoted and reassigned. Jim Baker, former chief of staff to Jim Comey, has left the FBI. So you think about
these.
They're
all gone?
They're either demoted, either fired, under prosecution potentially, demoted and reassigned, or they've left.
Now, what does that tell you?
Well, it tells me the top people at the FBI. You could throw in Comey's been fired, director of the FBI, Deputy Director Andrew McCabe's been fired, now faces prosecution potentially. Jim Baker, former chief counsel at the FBI, has been demoted, reassigned. Peter Strzok, deputy head of counterintelligence, demoted, reassigned. Lisa Page, FBI counsel, demoted, reassigned. Jim Rubicki has left the FBI altogether. So those are the top people, and we wonder why in the world Jeff Sessions won't name a second special counsel when you have that happening?
So let's talk about Jeff Sessions. Jeff Sessions, because we hear this week that if you fire Rosenstein, I'm leaving. What's that about?
Yeah, I don't know. We'd have to ask the Attorney General. But one of the questions that's come up in talking with Congressman Zeldin, Congressman Meadows, and I, we're wondering, was Jeff Sessions consulted on the Cohen kick-in-the-door raid? Because understand, this happened outside the special counsel. So this wasn't under the umbrella of Robert Mueller. This goes to main justice. What we've heard in the press is Rod Rosenstein said, okay, Southern District of New York, go kick in the door of Michael Cohen's office and business and get these documents. I want to know, was the Attorney General consulted? Because if it's not under the umbrella of the special counsel, Jeff Sessions conceivably shouldn't be recused. And we're talking about not just any old lawyer. We're talking about a lawyer to the President of the United States of America. That seems to me something the Attorney General should be consulted on. So Mr. Meadows and Mr. Zeldin and I plan to send a letter to the Attorney General and just ask him, were you consulted? Did you approve? Were you in any way a part of that decision? Because it seems to me he should have been.
And you know what? Talk about kicking down the door. Gee, they didn't kick down Hillary Clinton's door. They didn't kick down any of those doors, did they?
They called up Cheryl Mills and said, Cheryl, what time can we come over to get these documents?
Yeah. Do you have time to get rid of everything? Congressman Jordan, really great to have you on the show. Thanks so much.
You bet.
And one-on-one with Senator Charles